What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you are all doing very, very well. I want to talk about some big changes that are coming to Guardian Druid in 10.1.5. It's on the PTR right now. There was a couple of massive changes that were actually just put onto the PTR regarding Thrash. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's a lot of changes here. I want to go over everything. So there's talents that have moved in the talent tree right here. Okay, there are new accessibility options in terms of talents that are linked together or different paths now that exist because the talents have moved around. And then there are some huge just changes to some of the talents as well. We're going to get into all that right here. Okay, so let's just dive right in. I'm going to show you some examples as well. One of the biggest changes that has happened is this talent here. We'll get to it in a minute. This is huge. But let's start with some of the talents that have moved around. So Dream of Cenarius used to be down here, right in between these Berserk and the Flashing Claws, I think, right? Let's look at this really quickly. Yeah, it used to be right here. It's now moved straight up the line and has now become a more central piece to the kit for Guardian Druid. So if you've never played with Dream of Cenarius before, you're probably going to have to play with it now. Not necessarily have to, I guess. There's a different talent option you could probably take, but it's up in the top section of the tree now. I don't know why you wouldn't take it. It is a really, really strong talent. It's a huge heal that you get from regrowth. And I think it's going to be a great addition defensively to Guardian Druid's kit. If you weren't running it before, you can kind of run it for free now. You sort of get to just run it for free. What used to be in that position was the Stampeding Roar talent, which you don't really care about. I'm pretty sure they just made that baseline. Let me check really, really quickly here. I don't actually see it, so maybe they just took it out. Front of the pack is what it's called. I don't see it here, so unless I'm blind, it looks like they just got rid of front of the pack. But the point is, it doesn't matter. It's more important to have this up here now. Huge healing that comes out of this. It's going to be fantastic. If you weren't running it before, just more defense, period, which is really, really great. Okay. The second thing that they've moved is the Thorns of Iron, and then, of course, Soul of the Forest. So they both moved up into the middle section of the tree. So Thorns of Iron used to be down here in the bottom section. Soul of the Forest used to be where Thorns of Iron is now. So Thorns of Iron has come up, and Soul of the Forest has moved to the side, and it's sort of created this pathway for you right through the middle, so it's much more centralized. So no matter what build you're doing, you can get the bonus of Soul of the Forest, giving you that extra rage. The damage is kind of whatever on Mangle because it doesn't really do a lot of damage. But really what you're looking at there is the rage generation. The extra 5 rage generation is huge for Mangle, particularly in single target, which is where I think you can lose basically a lot of your rage generation, because like in AoE you can have Galactic Guardian going off all the time, or you can run the Thrash Blood Frenzy and have Thrash ticking all the time, giving you rage. So there's lots of options that way. So it's cool that it's centralized. And then Thorns of Iron moving up is really, really good. It means you can pick it up before you get into the Moonfire stuff, which means you don't have to waste any points on Moonfire stuff if you don't want to. If you're doing like a pure Fizz build and you want to run Thorns of Iron, you can do that. Here's what I'm talking about. Before, Thorns of Iron used to be down here, and you were forced to take either Scintillating Moonlight or Ellune's Favored just to get to it. You don't have to do that anymore. It's right up here, and of course, Soul has moved over. So there's some quality of life stuff going on here, depending on, again, what build you want to run. There's more build options. That's what this is presenting to you. More accessibility, more build options for you, because these are more centralized in the tree, and you're not kind of hidden behind any Moonfire stuff, okay? Yeah, big deal for rage generation, and big deal for Thorns if you want to do damage with more of a physical build. It's still going to work if you're doing a Moonfire build. You're going to path this direction anyway. Very, very cool. Okay? This next one's really huge. On the old build, Galactic Guardian was hidden underneath Scintillating Moonlight. The only way to get to Galactic Guardian was to take Persistence, Berserk Persistence, and Scintillating Moonlight. You had to take 3 talent points, and Scintillating Moonlight was probably one that you wanted to take anyway if you're doing Galactic Guardian, but Berserk Persistence is not necessarily something you wanted to take. But now, it just falls right below the After the Wildfire or Guardian of Elune choice node, you go 1, 2, and boom, you've got Galactic Guardian. You don't have to take Persistence. You don't have to take 2 points in Scintillating Moonlight. It's just 2 points now, 1 into Twin Moonfire, which you're going to want to take anyway. You're always going to want to take that with the Galactic Guardian. And then boom, you get to Galactic Guardian. So this pathing is now incredibly more, it's got a lot more accessibility. Incredibly accessible, that's what I wanted to say. It has way more accessibility now. You don't have to take Persistence if you don't want it. You don't have to take Scintillating Moonlight if you don't want it. So if you're doing a Moonfire build, you're going to take this stuff anyway. If you're not doing a Moonfire build, let's say you're going over here and you want to do a Raise build with Incarn, now you can also get Galactic Guardian and Twin Moonfire. Before, that was not possible, right? To get Twin Moonfire, you'd have to come down here, but you're not getting Galactic Guardian. Let's say even if I wanted to get Galactic Guardian, I still can't get it with this more physical focus build on the old tree. So that doesn't work at all. But again, now we have more options. I'm still getting Circle of Life and Death. I'm getting the new Flashing Claws. I'm getting Ursoc Shields. I'm getting Rend and Tear. I'm getting Raise, and I'm also getting Incarn while still getting Galactic Guardian. So boom, you get some crazy options going on here for whichever build you kind of want to run. And again, I know nobody uses Raise right now. I understand that. I'm just trying to show you that there's options now. If you want to do a physically focused build, you can still get Galactic Guardian. This pathing change here is massive. Not having to take Persistence, not having to take Scintillating Moonlight, you still can get Galactic Guardian. Very, very, very good. Here's some new connection nodes that are going on here. I want to talk about Incarn and the nodes coming off of it. If you look here at the old tree, the Incarn Convoke has no lines going to Raise and no line going to Sleeper. There are now 2 lines going to Sleeper and Raise. That is crazy strong. That means, again, boom, more build options. I'm going to stop saying boom, but you can see what I'm saying there. There's now more options, right? I can take Sleeper with Galactic Guardian and not take Raise. I can do it right from Incarn. I can come from Circle of Life and Death. I can come from Elun's Favored down here if I want to. I could just go Elun's Favored, Incarn, Sleeper, or I could go Elun's Favored, Moonless Night, Sleeper. It doesn't, like, you can go anywhere now. There are so many connection nodes. You can connect from the Berserk nodes, Persistence, and Unchecked Aggression right into the extra stuff. You can skip them all together and just go Earth Warden and After the Wildfire and go right into Twin Moonfire. There's just so many, like, options now for where you want to go and what you want to do. And depending on kind of what piece of content you're tackling, I think you're going to have amazing options now for whatever build you want to run. Whether you're Raid, single target, whether you're Tyrannical Week in Mythic Plus and you want a little bit more single target, maybe you spec into Pulverize just for the keys. You're probably not going to ever drop Sleeper. I'm just trying to say, guys, that there are options now for what you want to do and kind of what build path you want to go. And these extra lines from Incarn are huge. Really, really like that a lot. So those are the big 2 connection ones that are the accessibility options that I wanted to talk about. The first one obviously being ease of access to Galactic Guardian, and the second one being ease of access to Raise and Sleeper from Incarn/Convoke. So very, very cool stuff there. Now, let's talk about some huge talent changes that have come in. And the first one I am going to talk about is Flashing Claws. This is crazy. So this used to just give you Thrash has a 20% chance to trigger an additional Thrash, which is fine on its own. But now Thrash can trigger, can stack 2 additional times. This is really, really crazy. Let me just go back to whatever build I was running before. This is really crazy, and I'm going to show you why. Some of my icons are lit up red right now. I don't really know why. Hopefully it's fixed now. This makes Thrash stack up to 5 times. Okay, we'll pop Incarn here just to get Thrash going. There's a bunch of new animations as well on the bars here. You can see when I press Thrash, this is lit up kind of gold. Whenever it's time to press something, it's kind of lit up in a gold border. Not sure if I really like that, but whatever. Oh, you can see my Thrash is now stacked up 5 times. It does mean that it does more damage. It does more ticking damage because instead of stacking 3 times, it's stacked 5 times. So it's actually way stronger now. And on top of that, not only does it just do more damage, but because of Rend and Tear, I'm doing 10% more damage to these enemies, and I'm taking 10% less damage from these enemies instead of 6%. This used to be 6%. Because it's 2 times 3 is 6. This is now 2 times 5. So I'm taking 10% less damage from these enemies, and I'm dealing 10% more damage across the board with all my Moonfires and everything else that's going on. That is absolutely bonkers. It's a really, really good change. Okay? That's the first big change. Here's the next one. Lunar Beam. Summons a beam of light at your target, increasing your mastery by 15% and dealing 15,000 arcane damage and healing you. This is nuts. If you don't know what mastery does for Guardian Druid, here's what it does. It increases your attack power by a percentage, and it increases your maximum health by 14%. Watch this. I'm at 640,000 health right now. If I press Lunar Beam, I go to 720,000 max health. 720, and I'm dealing more damage because I'm getting more attack power right now. So Lunar Beam has now become a 1-minute cooldown that increases all of your damage and gives you 80,000 max health on my build right now. It's going to scale even higher. It's going to scale much, much higher. But right now, with my current max health, it gives me 80,000 health. On top of that, you can pop Incarn, which gives you 30% more max health. And you can get the new tier set bonus, which I don't have right now. Let's find it, though. Guardian, let's go to item sets here. Look at this. The new tier set bonus for Guardian, which I don't have yet on this current character. The Season 2 tier set bonus. When you take damage, Mangle Thrash Rage increased by 50%. Yes, here we go. Raise damage increased by 20%, or Maul. Casting Iron for or Raise increases your maximum health by 3%. Stacking up to 5 times. That's 15% more health. So the new tier set bonus gives you 15% more health. Incarn gives you 30% more health. And Lunar Beam gives you 15% more health. I think it's 15% more health. I don't know. I don't know what the mastery scale is on it, but it's giving you 15% more mastery, which will give you max health. Let's see how high my max health can go here with all 3 of those put together. I don't have the new tier set bonus. I'm sorry. You can imagine 15% more health here. Let's pop this. We're going to charge in. We go Incarn plus Lunar Beam. I'm sitting at 936k right now. I would be over a million health easily. I would be over a million health easily if I had the new tier set bonus. And just imagine for a second if I actually had gear. Imagine if I was 420, 430 item level. Imagine the amount of stamina that I would have. I could easily see Bear getting up to like 1.3 million health when they're in Incarn. Maybe 1.5 million if they're in Incarn. I'm serious. Like, you could go that high. It's that crazy. So, this new change to Lunar Beam, I think it makes it a really enticing 1-minute cooldown. You could combo it with something like Rage of the Sleeper, right? Go Galactic Guardian plus Rage of the Sleeper. Go with your extra Thrashes over here. That would be kind of crazy, because then you have Rage of the Sleeper on a 1-minute cooldown with Lunar Beam. You become a disgusting 1-minute cooldown spec that just does crazy damage, and then you have Incarn on your 3-minute cooldown like it always is. So I think Lunar Beam is very, very strong now. And I think in general, the changes that we're seeing to Bear are going to be really crazy. These changes right here to Flash and Claws, giving you 5 stacks of Thrash, meaning that you have 10% damage reduction and 10% more damage dealt, is really, really good. The ease of access to Galactic Guardian now, only 1 point down from after the wildfire. 1, 2. And you're there. And then you have easy access to Lunar Beam, which you might want to pick up now, because Lunar Beam now gives you 15% more health, I believe. 50% more mastery, but I think it's just straight up health. And of course, it's giving you more damage because it's giving you mastery. That's really crazy. You can actually pick up all 4 capstones here if you want to now. There's ease of access because of all the accessibility changes. You can get Pulverize, Raise, Rage of the Sleeper, and Lunar Beam. That's not something that you could do before. You can see I've spent points here. You know, it's just because if I take out Dream of Cenarius, then I can't get to either one of these. So you can see the accessibility options are really paying off there for us. So in general, these are massive buffs to Guardian Druid. Easier build paths, more accessibility to powerful talents like Galactic Guardian or Flashing Claws, or Raise. You can pick whatever build you want. You can go from Incarn down to Sleeper. Lunar Beam is buffed. A bunch of these talents have moved around. Dream of Cenarius is now going to become a core part of your self-healing for Guardian Druid, which means maybe you could lose some defenses somewhere else if you wanted to. Yeah, I think it's looking really, really good for Guardian Druid in 10.1.5. Remember, this is coming not soon, but it's, this is going to be within this current raid tier right now that we're on right now, Season 2. It's going to drop during Season 2. So Very, very cool stuff. I'm excited for Guardian Druid. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think this is really exciting for Guardian Druid? Are you excited for the changes? Do you think it's these talent choices are going to be meaningful? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.